So again, good afternoon, everybody. I apologize for the inconvenience for us starting late. This is Felicia from GTM Payroll Services, and I'm covering for Kristen today. We're going to go over payroll processing, a few things on payroll processing, how to enter your hours onto the grid, how to do an individual check, how to block direct deposit, how to just go through any questions you may have. Go ahead, feel free to stop me, raise your speak up if you have anything at all. So first, when you log in, this is your landing page. It gives you a little bit of information on your name, your email address, your phone number that's loaded in the system. If you had any company reminders, it would be right here. Reminders. Then your account information would be here. So account rep. I'm so sorry. Account rep, your sales rep, and then your implementation rep information would be here. Their name, their email address, and their phone numbers. Also, we post a quick link, so any of the videos that we do on the weekly Thursday trainings, also any quick links that we have available on the university that we might want to point you to will be available here. We also post the W-9, the new W-4s, direct deposit forms, and things like that. Also, if GTM has any announcements that they want you to be aware of, we will post them here for you. And then we have our payroll processing information here, our next available check date, if we had any off cycles and things like that would be posted here. I'm going to go over to our payroll processing, payroll entry, and time entry grid. Our time entry grid, we can go ahead and put in our hours, block salaries, make any changes on a mass scale right here. So right now I have 40 hours in here for Daniel Phillips. I'm going to go ahead and put 35 hours in here for Daffy Duck. Also, we're going to pay him 8 hours of holiday pay. I'm going to put in 30 hours for Jasmine. She's got some PTO, so we're going to put 10 hours of PTO in here. Now, Jessica Jenkins, she has a special situation. She's going to get a bonus this payroll. So on top of her 40 hours that I'm going to put in on the entry grid, I need to do an additional check for her and do a bonus check for her. So from the time entry grid, I'm going to go to the individual time entry, click here. And now it brings me to her individual check entry. Here is her regular check. I don't want to work with her regular check. I want to do an additional check for her because there's going to be some changes. I want to block maybe direct deposit. I want to do some special taxation and things like that on here. So right now, I'm just going to do an add new. And we do have a few options that come set up in the system already for you. We have an additional check. This additional check is going to be set up the same way our regular check template is set up. So if you wanted her bonus check to be taxed and deducted the same way a regular check would be, this is the check we choose. If we wanted her to do a gross up, and a gross up is we want her to get that exact $500 or whatever that bonus would be, and then the company will care of all the employee taxes, the employer taxes, things like that, then we do an additional check gross up. If we wanted to do an additional check and not take any of her regular deductions out, say this person, I'm sorry, I'm gonna answer this chat real quick. Could everybody just go ahead and mute themselves? It looks like we're having a little bit of background feedback in the background. I'd really appreciate it. So now we're going to go back and I'm going to go through the additional check, no deductions again. So say this person has medical, dental, all these AFLAC and things like that coming out of their regular check. We want it to happen for the additional check with the bonus. We can go ahead and choose the additional check, no deductions. This will block every single deduction from coming out, right? We do have manual check, third party. These are nothing to do with this payroll. These have nothing to do with an additional check. If you did need something, an additional check set up a certain way, maybe taxed in a certain frequency and it's something you use all the time, you can just feel free to reach out to GTM, reach out to your account manager, and we'll be more than happy to set that up and we'll call it whatever you like, so we can add more templates to this so that when you're ready to do your bonus checks, maybe you have them once a month, twice a month, whatever your situation may be, it'll be available for you to do it, and you don't have to make all these manual changes on your own. So for this employee, I'm talking about Jessica and I'm in Danny. So I'm going to go over to Jessica Jenkins first. And you'll see I went right here to the magnifying glass. I started typing in her last name, and here are my options for Jessica Jenkins. Oh, it won't let me because I was trying to add an additional check. So now let's retry that. So now I'm going to go ahead, add my additional check. I'm going to go do one with no deductions, just so you can take a look at how that one looks. I can also do an override on the frequency. So right now we're at weekly frequency, and you can see that right here. But if we wanted to do maybe tax this check for one time at a monthly frequency or quarterly frequency, we do have the option for that. If you leave this box alone, it will default to whatever frequency the payroll is in right now. We can also block direct deposits. In the screen before we hit save, we can block all direct deposits. We can use overrides for direct deposit accounts too. So if we were to choose use overrides, we'd be able to block one account, both accounts, switch them around however we like. I'm not going to do any of that for this check. I'm just going to leave it all alone. I'm going to hit save. It's going to be that additional check, no deduction. And then all I'm going to do is pay her $500 bonus. Now, if you want to take a look, make sure that check looks right to you. All you want to do is hit preview, preview check. Here it is. Here's our additional check. As you can see, there is no deductions coming out, and this employee has the New York 529 savings, the 401k, a loan, and an HSA. None of it is coming out. You'll see it's going to her direct deposit. All of the taxes look normal. And here's her net pay of $162.37. It looks like she's getting taxed at a flat rate of $200, and then she gets a New York State tax, and then for federal, she has an additional $50 coming out. That's why she's getting such a small check. Let me go ahead. That one looks okay. I'm going to go ahead and actually add another check too, so you can see what a gross up looks like. I'm going to do the gross up. I'm going to keep my frequency the same, hit save, and now again we're going to go with that $500 check, bonus again. You'll see with the gross up, her net will be $500, but then you'll see the actual gross is going to be an additional amount, because we're going to be taking taxes into consideration and all of the other things that come out of her check. Here we go. So her actual gross for her pay for this bonus $931.73. She is getting a net pay of $500, which is that bonus. But we did have to gross it up to take into consideration her federal taxes, New York State taxes, Medicare and Social Security, and also PFL. Okay. Now, say we want to do a manual. Jessica Jenkins was going to get her bonus check in-house, right? You're going to pay her in-house. You're going to just write her a manual check, but we want to record it for payroll, and we want to make sure that all the taxes and everything is getting calculated correctly. We can do it one of two ways. You can come in here, choose your check type as a manual check, and then you could do the supplemental rate and figure out your taxes on your own, or you can come in here and do an additional check again and post it as a manual. Say we are going to write her a $500 check again. All you want to do is choose the gross up, leave our frequency alone, hit save, and I'm going to put in this $500 again. Now you'll see our options are, I'm going to preview my check. Here's our check, and now we have these buttons right here that we can post it as a manual. Once you hit post as a manual, the check becomes a manual check. It'll be recorded in your payroll as a manual. So now I click this post as manual, our check has changed. It's a manual check now from a gross up. Okay. Any questions on manual checks, adjustments, gross ups, no deduction checks, anything like that? All right. Now we're gonna go, we'll go back to our time entry grid. Say, you know, Ryan Quinn, he's got some hours in a few different departments. You just wanna do it on the time entry grid. What we'll do is we're gonna insert some lines. So all you wanna do is if you wanna insert some additional lines for your employee in the time entry grid is you're gonna do Control Insert. I'm gonna insert 2 lines for him. And now you'll see that we have 3 lines altogether. 1, the original, and the 2 that I inserted. I'm gonna put 20 hours. And then we're gonna do some labor allocation right here in our time entry grid. So we can labor allocate according to the location or the department. And I'm gonna put him, you know what, he was at 20 hours at the Syracuse branch. He's got 10 hours. And then all these drop downs are already set up for us. We just wanna choose whichever one we need. We've got 10 hours at the Albany branch, and then the remaining 10 hours he's in Kingston. Okay. Say now we have all of our hours in here. You want to check your totals, you can go to your time entry totals and just review it. If you're typing off of time cards or anything like that, you can actually put your control totals in this column, and it'll tell you if there's any difference in the system versus what you have in your spreadsheet or, you know, your time card or whatever you're looking at. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my control totals in here, 8 hours, just so you can take a look at what the system will do if you do that. I hit save. And now you'll see there's no difference. If there was a difference, the system will tell you that there's a negative or a positive or whatever amount. Now we're going to go to preview payroll. I'm going to preview this payroll just to review our register and our summary and make sure there isn't anything that was missed. All of our bonuses are coming in, all of our regular hours, manual checks, and everything is here. So I like to review my payroll register, make sure everything looks good. I hit my preview results. All of my preview results are now here in this little box. Pull the drop down, and here's our payroll register. I'm gonna go ahead and choose that and hit go. All right, here's our payroll register. So I did key in 35 hours for Daffy Duck with 8 hours of holiday pay, so that looks good. Jasmine Jenkins had 30 hours of regular pay and 10 hours of PTO, so she also looks good. Now, Miss Jessica Jenkins, she's got a lot happening. We've got that no deduction check with the $500 bonus. That one looks really good. We've also got the gross up with the bonus. So she was getting a gross of $931.73 because we wanted her to net a $500 bonus. And that is actually being distributed in her direct deposit, $450 to one account and $50 to one account to equal that $500. And then I've also got this manual check in here that we did, which was a gross up. So she got a net pay of $500 for that bonus, but we did want to pay all of her taxes and things like that. So it grossed up to $931.75 here. And then she's got a regular check also, which she gets a salary of $1,144. And then we've got a 401k match. And you'll see in her regular check, we've got all of her regular deductions coming out. So she's got her 529, her 401k, her loan, and her HSA pre-tax. Also, we had some hours in here for Dan Phillips with his 401k, and he's getting just a regular check. You'll see the payroll register shows us just their paid gross, so their total gross altogether, and then the net pay that goes to the employee. Same thing for Ryan Quinn. We've got 40 hours, getting paid $540 with a net pay of $390.26. And then our second to last page is going to be our company totals. It shows us how many employees got paid, shows us a live check amount, our voucher amount. If there was any voids or manuals, it'd give us that. Also, if we had any live checks that required check numbers, it would show here. It'd probably show like, you know, check number 350 to 351 or whatever those check numbers would be. Our direct deposit vouchers would show the amount also, our total live net check, total live net check, net pay, and then our other totals right here. And then it gives us all of the totals of our earnings, all of the totals on our deductions, and then employee taxes. Our payroll register does not show our employer taxes, the new one from it's not like Evolution, where the Evolution one will show the ER taxes. In order to view the ER taxes, we do recommend that you take a look at our payroll summary report. And I'll go back and we'll review that real quick. Here's our payroll summary. It's right there in our last preview results box. And go ahead and hit go and have that pull up for us real quick. So if you're familiar with our legacy system Evolution, this is going to be compared to our cover letter. It gives us all the totals on live checks, direct deposits, tax liabilities, earnings, deductions, manual checks, and things like that. So the very top gives us our total debits for live checks and direct deposits, and the total for those two combined. Then our total tax liabilities, third-party checks, and payroll billing. So our you'll see this 1870 has a hashtag next to it. That is the client's responsibility. So even though we make this deduction for you, we don't make this payment. And this is a combination of your New York State disability and New York State PFL. This is usually paid through your workers' comp insurance or something along those lines. Then also any third parties, garnishments, things like that, we make those deductions. We send those checks out for you. This is the total here. Then here's our total ACH debit that we are going to be pulling from your account. This account is not a trust account, so we're not making all of the payments. So this $59.83 is different than the $4,097 because you have some live checks coming out of your own account and then the combination of the New York State SDI and PFL. At the bottom here, it'll give us the total of checks by type. So we have a total of live checks, additional checks, manual checks, then our direct deposits and third parties. And then it also gives us by count the check type. Our next page will give us a total of taxes. This is a combination of employee and employer. Gives us federal deposits, state deposits, and employer deposits. There's columns for current, month to date, quarter to date, and then year to date. And then after that, if you're not so concerned about the employee part and you just want to take a look at your employer expenses, we do have that. The employer taxes are FUTA, Medicare, Social Security, and New York State employment and reemployment, unemployment and reemployment. And again, it's going to have the same columns, current, month to date, quarter to date, and year to date. And then our very last page is going to be a total of just all of our earnings and all of our deductions from the payroll itself. It's going to give us a total current to date for all of the earnings, all of the memos, and all of the deductions. And then it also does month to date, quarter to date, and then year to date. Say we are all good to process our payroll. Everything looks good. We're going to come back to our preview payroll screen, and then we're going to hit the submit button, and that triggers to the account manager to go ahead and process the payroll. Everything is good on your side. Okay. Was there anything in payroll processing that anyone might have a question on? Additional checks, labor allocation, anything that I may have missed that you might want to go over? So I'm actually going to go over, we do have a question on time entry templates. So I'm going to go over the time entry template real quick. So if you were to go to under payroll processing, payroll entry setup, you can go to a time entry template. So we've got a couple here. We've got a regular, a bonus, with commission credit, just a whole bunch of different ones, but you know what? They're not what I want. So I'm going to create one for myself. I'm the payroll person now. GTM's not doing payroll. The previous people aren't doing payroll. I'm going to just go ahead and hit add new. I'm going to name this one Felicia's template. You can sort this by department if you needed to. You can sort it by employee last name, location, whatever that you may like that we have set up already. I'm gonna actually do by employee last name because it's easier for me. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Now I'm gonna go to my earnings and memos, hit edit. And when you're clicking on these boxes, the system numbers them for you. So it's gonna be column number 1, column number 2, and number 3. So I'm gonna start with my hourly regular. And the system knows to just click on the show hours only because hourly regular, we're just punching hours in for those people. Hourly regular, and then I'm going to do my overtime, personal, PTO, vacation, and sick. So this is my regular template. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I'm not going to do anything on my deductions because you know what? All of my deductions happen automatically on their own. They're scheduled to come out. If I need to block them, I will block them in the system. So, hit save. And then I'm going to do a bonus template. I'm going to show you guys how we can just use a bonus template. The bonus check entry screen. So I'm going to go ahead, do my bonus template. It's going to be sorted by employee last name. And I'm just going to choose the bonus earning. And the system, you just show dollars for this one. And hit save. So now I want to make the bonus template my regular template. So whenever I log in to do payroll, my bonus template will be the one that pops up for me. So under payroll entry setup, I'm going to do the time entry options. I'm going to change this. So right now it's set at hour salary, holiday PTO 1.1, January 28, 2020, but I'm going to change it to Felicia's template. And you'll see we have some warnings set up here. We've got a maximum dollars warning, maximum hours warning, and we've got a maximum rate warning. So when we're entering payroll, these warnings will happen. If I go over 85 hours for an employee, I will get a warning. And I'll show you how that works also. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Now if I go back to my time entry grid, you'll see Felicia's template is the template that pops up. This is the one we're gonna use from now on. This is gonna be available for me when I log into payroll. So say Roxanne's gonna get paid, and we're gonna put her over hours just to see that warning that we're gonna get. I'm gonna put her at 89 hours. Hours. Oh, there's our little flag. Here's our warning. And our warning is telling us the amount entered exceeds the warning limit of 85. So right now, our company rule says we shouldn't be paying people more than 85. So we might want to investigate a little bit more to make sure, hey, why are we paying this employee 89 hours instead of 85? What's going on, right? Also, we do have a rate one, we do have a dollar one. So we just wanna, you know, when you set those up and you see these flags, just go ahead and view it, look at your flag and make sure you're not missing anything before you process payroll, because then we're gonna have to void and fix the payroll. Okay? Are there any other questions, anything else that you might wanna ask?
Felicia, I have a question.
Yeah.
On the time entry grid here, there's a salary person, and I see that there are hours
Yes.
Filled in there. Is that what we're supposed to do for a salary person, is fill in like a 40-hour or?
No, so this company for Jessica Jenkins, because I was putting hours in for her, I put hours in for her. You don't, it depends on your company rules. If you do track hours for a salary employee, you can do that. But if you don't need to, you don't need to.
Okay. And so if somebody is on salary and you know, they're not getting paid 1 week, I would just block it?
Yeah, so you just want to come in here and click that block, and
Okay.
that will block her salary from happening.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Any other questions? No question is a wrong question. All right, well, if there's no other questions at all, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and end the training. If anybody thinks of anything, you know, between now and the next training that we have, just go ahead and reach out to account managers. We'll go ahead and forward it over to me, or they'll probably be able to answer your questions on your own. Thank you, everybody, for spending time with me this afternoon. I know we started off a little rocky, and I apologize for that. And just, I think I have a little question before I hang up. Oh, also, we have a training tomorrow at 9 that we're going to be sending invites to if you haven't gotten them again already. I know Kristen, Katie will probably be sending reminders later today. So we hope to see you guys for that one tomorrow. I know we're in kind of a iffy time, so anything that you have questions on, please feel free to reach out to your account managers at GTM. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.